I'm actually really excited for this session. I have just been chatting with our next guest, who is the fantastic Adam Axford, and it sounds like he has something for us today, which is not something that we see every day. So he tells me he's a slam poet, and he's going to help us transform the way we tell our story. So I'm really excited. Put your hands together for the amazing Adam Axford.
More than that, come on. Yeah. All right, before we kick off, I want to share a story, a true story, about my early days as a magician and poet. And like any good card trick, it begins, pick a card, any card, take it out and show it to the room, just don't let me know it. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, you all seen it? Good. It's the point of the trick where we need to mix the card back into the deck to make it more compelling. So as I riffle down the cards, if you could just say stop. Stop. Right about there. Yeah, and I'll place these on top. Could that be any more fair? And look, I'll be honest, the point of this question is to shift attention away from this direction, because it's the precise moment in time I controlled this selection to a desired location. It's called misdirection. And it's not as fair as you think it is, because when you put your card back, I keep a little break where my pinky is and perform a move called the pass, which is a way to swap the top half with the bottom and the bottom with the top. And then I give the deck a couple of flips and a shuffle and mix, and I'll probably get in trouble for this, but these are not genuine shuffles, they're tricks. So now the card you chose is in the first position. This magician's one step ahead on his mission. You want to hear the rest of the story? Yeah? Good, because this particular night I was killing it, right? It was like 15 years ago, early days in my career, and I didn't know what the card was, but I knew exactly where it was so I could focus on my performance. I am a showman. And right then, big fella in the front row gets up and he's like, "Let me shuffle." Tried to ignore him. "Let me shuffle." I was like, "Mate, this is not an open forum. Let me shuffle." And I just smiled at him softly, but he reached out and he snatched my cards right off me. He was bigger than me, I was still pretty young, and to him this was just some silly fun. But for me, I put hours on this. Thousands of clips, books, lectures devoured on this, just for a doubter like this to ruin the moment. I was like, "Mate, I'm not your opponent. I just want you to feel this elusive emotion of awe that leaves us jaw drop frozen." And right then, his big mouth open. He was like, "Yeah, don't cry. Don't mean to mess your trick up. I've got a trick for you. 52 card pickup." He threw my fucking cards up in the air, didn't he? Started raining down over me like confetti at a miserable wedding. And like, I appreciate banter. We don't teach kids about Santa or the Tooth Fairy, because growing up is already too scary, right? And it's the thing about adulthood that's so tragic. We reach a certain age, we stop believing in the magic, and now this grown-up's trying to mess our trick up with a joke about 52 pickup. And what they don't know is a good magician keeps a trick up their sleeve for this kind of hiccup. Plan B, a backup. Before we open the pack up, let's pause for a second and back up. You chose a card out of 52 potentials. And if this works, it's beyond coincidental. It's our time for redemption. And now we have the whole room's undivided attention. In your biggest voice, loud and clear, name your card for the whole crowd to hear.
7 of hearts.
7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts. You see, moments like this are why I persist in convincing people that magic exists. Because as we reach the crescendo of this story and verse, and I spread through the cards, and, you know, only one is reversed. And you see, magic and wonder, childlike fascination, are just products of our imagination. And it's your appreciation that's my validation. This is how I earned my first standing ovation with a 7 of hearts. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. How you doing? Yeah? All right. Let's kick this off. So my name is Adam, and I am a wordsmith. Essentially, I believe that words are magic, and the right words can transform anything. And like in this session today, I want to explore a few ideas how we can incorporate the shit things that happen to us in our past, in our day-to-day lives, and use that as kind of a fuel in our transformation so we can reach the levels that we want to go to. I call it setbacks to jetpacks. So I want to have a little go at that. And it's going to be interactive. So like what I really hope is, like, I know I'm up here on this circle and you're sitting in your seats, but like we're in this room together. So I want a degree of presence, and there's going to be interactions throughout it, because I'm going to be telling lots of slam poetical stories. And if something resonates with you, I want to fucking hear it, right? I want to hear or I tried to whistle then, that didn't come out. Snapping the feet, like, can we all, we're going to do a little game right now. Okay, so we're like walking home, and then it starts raining, and we hear that rain on the tin roofs. Can we hear it? Yeah. So we start picking up the pace a little bit. Get some rumbling? Yeah, all right, good. And we make it home, and like we open the door, and we need to like let mum know we're home. So we're like, woo! And then we smell her cooking. All right, these noises are going to make me really happy during this session, okay? So we're all in this together. Same thing, if someone's got a heckle or some shit you want to like shout at me, like give it, bring it, give me your get best work. I just want us to have like a real present moment setting. And if we do this, we will create something that's more than the sum of our parts here today. So without saying anything more on that, I want to mention that I'm not the first magical man to stand upon Gadigal land. So let us acknowledge the history by embracing the magic as we honor that mystery. Speaking of mysteries, we're going to kick off with a riddle. And when you solve the riddle, it'll give me a little gateway into, I guess, continuing on with this little set I've got planned for you. So, all right, riddle number 30. Honestly, I didn't think this was going to be my job. I used to get thrown out of class for being a chatterbox. Now they pay me to speak. Paradox. All right. So shout out if you get the answer. No hands up. Just fucking shout at me. I have one letter, but I'm spelled with 8. Address me correctly. Seal my fate. I'll bring it up here. Envelope. Yeah. Is that on the screen yet? Oosh, someone's broke my button. Need new batteries in this. Hold up. What's going on? Is that me? Can't be me. What's going on? Delayed reaction. All right, cool. Have one letter. Anybody, someone answered it already. It was envelope, right? Yeah, of course. I have one letter. I'm spelled with 8. Address me correctly. Seal my fate. And I appreciate you solving that, because I have an envelope here, and I need to. Who answered envelope and shouted it out? Someone? Sorry, I'm going to pick on you. Yeah, we're going to go in. Lady in the green. I don't care. You look cute. I'm nominating you. Here we go. What's he doing in the crowd? Stay up there, mate. Yeah. You can hold on to that for now. You can stay where you are, but you might have a little bit of a mobility moment in a minute, because what we're going to do is we're going to play a game of word association. And in a minute, you're going to help kick this off, and then you're going to take that package to someone else in the room. You can throw it or chuck it or pass it along, as long as it makes its way around to some degree, yeah? So like chaos will ensue. And during this moment, I'm going to try my best to keep track of the words that we share. So to kick this off, the word I will begin with is wave. So with that in mind, wave makes you think of? Lady in green for now, what you got? Sea. Amazing, all right. Sea, beautiful. I'm going to keep this going. I need you to pass that to anyone else in the room. Hesitation is the enemy. Let's go. Toss it. There we go. I've never claimed on my public liability insurance, but I think today we're going to get our money's worth. And ironically, my insurers are called Duck for Cover, so it's just perfect. All right, sea makes you think of. Sea makes you think of. Travel, I love it. All right, good. This is what we're in for. Travel. And just so if it lands with you, you can pass it on, toss it on to somebody else. We just want like one word, things that you'd find in a dictionary, you know? No names or places or slang terms, just simple, crunchy words. I love the effort here. What was I thinking? This is good. It brings us into the moment, right? Anything can happen. Travel makes you think of? Aeroplane. Okay. Airplane. I've spelt with airplane, not aeroplane, because aero reminds me of the chocolate. Same thing, pass it to somebody. Yeah? Aeroplane makes you think of? Sickness. All right. Fair enough. I ain't going to complain about that. Sickness makes you think of? Recovery. I love that. All right, recovery. Recovery. Beautiful. Same thing, pass it. If you might have to get up or something, but I appreciate all the effort as we make this thing happen. No one knows where this is going. Freedom. Recovery makes you think of freedom. I like it. No, that is bang on. Freedom. Right, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go to about 10 or so. If you don't mind, you were splendid earlier. Would you mind keeping note of some of these? So we're on freedom. You passed it. Freedom makes you think of? Retirement. I'm here for it. I am. Next chain in our word association. Retirement makes you think of. What you got in mind? Money. There we go. Just add money to the list. How many are you on now? What's that? 8, 9? 8. Go one more, please. Relax. I love it. That's 10. How about this? Think about what relax makes you think of. A word you might find in a dictionary. And you don't have to say it out loud, but I do want you to type it in, keep it to yourself for now. That makes sense? And think about it, relax is going to mean a different thing to every single person in this room, I guarantee, yeah? Maybe there'll be someone else who thinks of the same word. What was your name? Camilla. So really, Camilla, what do you think the odds are that someone else is going to think of the word that you've got? Pretty high. Okay. Can you do us a favor, please? You stay there for a second. Whoever has been left with the package, could you please come up and join me? I'll be very kind to you, I promise. Give a round of applause for our friend as they join us. Now, as she makes her way up, I want you to think about this word and focus on this word and what it might mean. Every single person in this room could have a different answer if it was left with them. You are the one who've been helping us out, and you can come and join me. Thank you. Everyone's here for you right now. You focus on this word. I'm going to write something down. Let's see. This chalk is a nightmare today. There we go. I'm hoping you can see this clearly. On the count of 3, you're going to shout out. Come and step on this circle with me. What's your name?
Roma.
Roma. Adam, nice to meet you. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want you to shout it on 3, like 1, 2, 3, and then we say it. Yeah, like 1, 2, yeah. And you're going to shout your word out, and I'm going to turn this around at the same time. 1, 1, 2, 3. All right, I didn't write peace, I wrote a bunch of numbers. But you know how every letter in the alphabet has got a corresponding? No, isn't that. 41029, 41029. Can you do me a favor? Can you open this up, please? Thanks for everybody who took part in that, by the way. I know this is a bit of a rowdy way to get the session. I just get us out of our heads, into our bodies, into our souls right now. And you don't have to reuse the packaging next year. You can be as brutal as you want. Come on, Roma, you're a legend. Roma, I would like you to go to page 410. You'll find the page numbers in the center. So where are we? We're in a little bit more to go there. 410, let's go. And your word was? Peace. 410. We're getting there. That's 405, so I think 410 is going to be a little bit higher than that. Next page. One more. That's 410, yeah? And do me a favor, go to the second column of the dictionary. It's and you might do a bit of counting, but there should be 9 entries, so I think this will be your first entry. That's 1. Oh, is that 1? Okay, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's number 9?
Peace.
Thank you for helping make that happen. You've been incredible. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you very much. I better nick my phone back off you as well. Hey. They're like, what the hell was that? What just happened? I don't even know how this works myself. All right, so we're having a bit of fun today. I'll nick that back off of you. Thank you. Word association. Does anyone want to know how I got into this? Yeah. So I'll tell you the story, but please feel free to interact with claps and cheers and finger snaps. In fact, let's bridge the gap and bring this back to where it all started. I want you to picture a kid working on a street market in London selling dodgy products with his dad, and the boy would soon become a product of that. I'm talking hustles and scams and riddles and schemes, and these themes were shaping my little man dreams. For example, each week, Dad would take a coin out of the change bag, mix it behind his back, bring 2 fists out in front and say, "Son, guess where the coin is 3 times in a row and you can keep it." Naturally, I stepped up to the challenge. But on my first go, I was defeated. Actually, for the next few months, I found it virtually impossible to beat it, and I figured it must be some kind of trick or some kind of secret, if only I could find a way to cheat it. And that's when the epiphany hit me, right? I thought, what if our words are an instrument? If I play that instrument with precision and hit the right notes with the right quotes, I could influence his decision of where he puts the coin. And this was genius. I couldn't wait to start trying it because I wouldn't be reading his mind. I'd be writing it. So next opportunity, I took a coin out of the change bag. I gave it to Dad. "Come on, Dad, 3 rounds. And for the first round, what I'd like you to do is mix it up and put the coin in whichever hand feels right to you." Feels right to you? Yeah. So he mixes the coin behind his back and then brings both fists out front, ready for round 1. And I just look him dead in the eye and I'm like, "Dad, it's in your right hand, isn't it?" And he opened his hand and it was. And before he could be like, "Son, are you trying to trick me?" I was like, "Dad, do exactly the same thing again, nice and quickly." Exactly the same thing again. So he mixes his hands behind his back for a few, brings both fists out, ready for round 2. Same thing again, look him dead in the eye. "Dad, it's in your right hand again, isn't it?" Opens it up and it was. And Dad, for round 3, I would like you to simply place all of your focus in whichever hand is left empty. So he mixes the coin behind his back whilst looking at me, brings both fists out ready for round 3. And once again, I stare him dead in the eye. And I must have glimpsed a little bit towards his left hand because this smug little smirk started to expand from the corner of his mouth as he thought that I had failed. But I was 1 step ahead and I said out loud, "Left empty." And he opened it up and it was. And as small as this moment is, this moment blew my whole mind open to the potential of every word spoken. And the markets were filled with marks and easy targets for me to practice my tactics of bar bets and card tricks. And I would use whatever I could find around me to make stuff happen, right? So we had a candy store next to us, and I realized that even a gold chocolate coin was something that I could use to make magic happen with. And all of these things actually just involve communication. I'll show you how it happens, right? So when a magician takes a coin and wants to make it disappear, it isn't just the sleight of hands that makes it happen. It's the communication and the body language. I'll break it down. So this is what we do. Firstly, I take the coin for real, thousands of times. And I start to map and model what my body's doing in that moment, right? Because I want to replicate that the best I can. So I'm taking a small step forward. Okay, that's one thing. Kind of rocking my weight on the hip. My shoulders kind of extend as we go. And then also we have this, we call this the dead hand in magic. It's like the empty hand. You don't want this kind of awkward thing. Anyone who does martial arts would know the smallest of hand movements can betray the intention of the other person, right? So with all of that together, you even notice there's a small bounce in the step, the shoulders move, the hips, I'll gesture slightly with my nose, and all of these things sell the illusion that the coin is there when it ain't. So it's the body language, the communication. It's not what we say, it's how we say it, right? So if that was impressive, then feel free to clap at me. Yeah. So. Because with this in mind, I want us to have a little game. And we're going to use some body language. We're going to pull somebody up. And I've got a dice here, so who's feeling lucky? Not lucky. Me. That's a lovely volunteer. In a moment, I'll get you up in a minute. That's awesome. I haven't rigged anything with the front row, I promise. I don't know anyone here. I hope to know all of you by the end of the day. So with a dice, I take it and hold it and shake it and roll it. Is the future set? Or can we shape it and mold it? Can we control it or manifest it? Because I got a theory, I want us to test it. If I gave you the dice, you put your hand on top, gave it a good shake, wait for it to randomly stop, look down to see which number landed on top. What if I guessed it? Like once would be lucky, right? 2 times in a row is chance, but more than 3 times begins to feel impressive. So I think we should give this a go. Thank you for volunteering yourself. Big round of applause. Yes. I'll get you about here. What's your name?
Jamie.
Jamie. Adam, nice to meet you. Thank you. All these people are here for you right now, Jamie. Center stage, we love it. So, Jamie, if I was to give this a shake and ask you what the number was, you could only guess because I don't know. But the second I see it, you've got a gateway into what this could be. You could ask me, and maybe I'll tell you. You could try to read me, maybe you'd be right. Or you could make me tell you in some way, right? Manipulation or gaslighting or brute force. Like we do these things all the time in small measures in our daily communication. And it's just kind of how we extract, the communication out of people. It's a 3, by the way. I want to show you how I do this. I'm going to give this to you. I'd like you to drop it in for me, please. Yeah, you. And then give it a good cathartic shake. And all I ask is that no one else sees this, so you can cover that glass, because I will peek if I get a chance. And whenever you're ready, you let it settle. And I want you and you alone to look through and see what number you've got. You know what you've got? Okay. I want you to focus on the number. See that red light up here?
Yeah.
I want you to stare into that red light. And you're going to keep a poker face in a minute. So let's get you nice and square. There we go. Perfect. Now, keeping a poker face is difficult when we have hundreds of people beaming into our soul. So as all of you stare into the core of what makes Jamie a living, breathing entity, I want you to keep a straight face.
Sorry, I'm enjoying the attention.
Sit, soak it up. Farming the attention. I love it. Looking at the red light, and I'm going to look at you, but you keep staring at that. We all look at Jamie. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little bit of pressure around the middle here. I'm going to play around with this. I'm just going to guess here. Excuse me. Educated guess. Anyone else get that? Yeah? Yeah? Loud and clear for the whole room to hear. Jamie, what number you got?
4.
4. Amazing. Look. Beginner's luck. Beginner's luck. You're doing great. Give it another shake for me. You happy with what you got?
No.
Tip it out, put it back in.
Yeah, no, I'm happy.
You're happy. Hold it in front of you for us, and I want you to keep it a secret, the same thing. And this time, instead, what I'm going to ask of you is to call the numbers out the way that I did.
Okay.
Loud and clear, all the way to 6, and then separately and backwards. And as you call it right at that red light, everybody, we're just going to listen. I'm just going to listen for any discrepancies that might give it away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You say 6, 5, 4 for me again.
6, 5, 4.
You say 5, 4, 3.
5, 4, 3.
Do you know any other languages you could count to 6 in?
Yes.
I don't mind what the language is. Let's go to 6 in that language.
1 2 3 4 5 6.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Yeah? Well done, well done, well done. I should have got you to do it backwards.
Do you want to try? Oh, no, you got the number.
What did you get? What did you get?
5?
A 5. All right, look, we're doing well. We're doing well. We're 2 for 2. We're 2 for 2. But ultimately, right, we can read people in this way because when we try to keep it in our communication, it comes out of us in other ways. We have a stressful day at work, right? You don't want to take it out at work. You get home and you take it out on, I don't know, the cat. Maybe not a cat, but you know what I'm saying. Same thing, you have an awesome weekend and people see you on Monday. Oh, what did you get up to? You're glowing, right? It emanates out of you. You can't keep it in. So here's my goal. Is it chance? Is it fate? Can we shape it and mold it? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write the number before you roll. And then when you roll, you're going to have free choice to keep changing that until you want to settle. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah? All right. You don't trust me, but that's cool. I'm going to write my number down.
And maybe the die rig, but no, it's got all the numbers.
All 7 digits are there. You can trust me. Checking you paying attention. Now, feel free. Are you happy with what you got? Because you can change it if you want. So you're going to change it? Sure. Let me know when you're happy. She's really going for this, hey? This is the most entertaining part. I like it.
Okay, that's fine.
You happy what you got?
I am.
So I want you to think about that number, right? And all of you think about what number you might have settled on if you had a free choice over this, okay? Obviously, I don't know it, and I didn't know it, but I had a guess. And my job with this kind of thing is just to see how close we can get, and hopefully we can make something happen. I wrote this down beforehand, so if it doesn't work, I'm hoping you can at least like cheer me on and root me on for giving it a go, yeah? Because this is what it's about. Like, we'd root for the underdog. We don't care about the success. It's like the fact that they tried. This is what I thought she would settle on. I just wanted to check. You wasn't thinking of a 1, were you?
Well, that's what it kept settling on initially.
It kept settling on a 1,
Yeah.
and then you changed it to something else.
I did.
Thank God. What was it?
4.
A 4. Amazing. Come on. Woo. You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Woo. All right. We having fun? It's all right, yeah? It's going to get deep in a minute. Just had to like get you on side first. We're going to unpack a few of these riddles, and I want you to be there with me as we do it. So I put that aside. So I really love words that have more than one meaning. Like the word duck could be the animal or the act of ducking. And then you got like duck down, you know? Miracle that we understand anything. So I've made a little book of these and hide in these kind of wordplay and riddles. So I'm going to put this up here, and this is a toughie, so I don't expect anyone to get it straight away, but we'll unpack how and why. I'm a period of time, an incantation. Recite the right letters in correct formation. So it's like one word that has multiple meanings that solves this, and all of these little fragments of the sentence hint at that word. Anyone got an idea? Spell. Well done. Who said spell? Legendary. It is, of course, spell. And why is it spell? A period of time is, of course, a spell, a busy spell, a warm spell, a crazy spell. An incantation is a linguistic formula that we use to impart our will upon the world. A mantra, an affirmation, a chant, a spell. And then, of course, recite the right. Let's just spell that out for you. You got that? Yeah? All right, cool. We go for another one then. Through rivers and wires, I fluctuate. I flow, I'm amped, I'm up to date. I heard it in here somewhere. Current. Current is, of course, current. And we go one more. They punctuate my ending with grammar marks and stops. If I'm handed by a judge, you might put me in a box. Sentence it is, of course. All right. So let's go back to the street market for a minute. So like the stuff that Dad and I sold, it wasn't always exactly legal. Not to brag. Nothing particularly evil, just cheaper for the people. And we were a couple of cavalier Robin Hood racketeers racking up cash with our counterfeit gear. And through the years, we were shrewd with our language. These weren't fake Nike trainers we were selling. These were pre-licensed merchandise acquired through a mislabeled parcel shipment. And we weren't manufacturing and distributing thousands of counterfeit DVD movies. What we were doing was providing early release access for review purposes only. The right words can transform anything. We sold it all. We borrowed games from Blockbuster Video Store and made copies to sell on our stall. We sold a card that slots into your TV box and lets you watch all the channels minus the cost. And you remember the cost, the polos with the crocodile logos? Yeah, we sold those along with pretty much every other name brand. Our game plan was currency, and to get our hands on it, we broke the law comfortably. And I remember one time we found a company to help us on our fast hustle by agreeing to make us a batch load of brass knuckles, slightly modified so we could sell them as belt buckles. Yeah, my conscience still struggles with that because we could have got in real trouble for that. So add that to our scandalous resume. We sold canisters of pepper spray from under the table. We sold fake Tiffany jewelry and counterfeit DVDs. And it was these, actually, that really gained gravity because we would manufacture the best Hollywood movies at the time and distribute them nationally. So naturally, our market still grew to be more of an enterprise. And people took note and the law began to recognize. And once the news broke, bro, it all became televised. Extra, extra, read all about the DVD piracy plaguing our society. We were named and shamed. Our first taste of fame came with pain and anxiety. And I was still at school, so I failed my grades amid the outrage of multiple 6 a.m. police house raids. There was an investigation, a trial. That was a tribulation. And the judge spoke one short word that sent Dad on a long vacation. Guilty. But Dad wasn't in jail. Dad was like on a government-sponsored trip. And my family and I, we weren't drowning in the trauma of the moment. This was like character development, the formation of spicy memories. Because the right words can transform anything. So amid that excessive government punishment that left Mum suffering, a little sis struggling, the bills kept coming in and we had to make ends meet, so I was out wheeling and dealing and hustling. And it's puzzling looking back, it all feels tragic. We had to learn how to turn our setbacks to jetpacks, and that's real magic. And on the day of Dad's sentencing, I took myself out in the evening for a drink with and a meal with a couple of mates, right? I think I had like 2 glasses of wine with dinner. And as I get back in the car to drive home afterwards, I was pulled over instantly pulled over by the police. And they wanted to breathalyze me, but it was like 2006. So it took a little bit of time to get a car that had the breathalyzer in it, right? And I'm waiting at this bus stop, and I got these, and I'm like, fucking what my world could come to of all days. And anyway, it arrived about 40 minutes later, and I blew amber. It's like color-coded back then. So I was free to go. But these issues continued to follow me, even though I didn't want that at all, right? I was trying to seek peace. We had some shit happening in our lives right now. I need to stay out of trouble. And one of the businesses we transitioned to outside of like piracy and counterfeit gear was we would make license plates for cars, like the physical plate. People come and get a replacement done or a better style, different font, and we'd do those while people wait. And I was waiting there. I was working one afternoon, Tuesday afternoon at Barking Market, some crappy part of East London. And like near the end of the day, I probably made like 200 quid for the day or something, barely scraping by. And then these plainclothes officers from Scotland Yard approach me and they arrest me for conspiracy to armed rob, 15-year minimum sentence, right? And I ain't steal anything. But it turns out that I'd been photographed setting license plates to people who are using those plates on their getaway vehicles for robbing Securicor vans, right? So this stuff just kept following me, and I realized that I had to make a change to shift up my narrative. This was the world I was in, and there was nothing I could do to avoid it unless I changed the way I was thinking. So I want you to picture that boy from the markets as a young man, standing at a crossroads, knowing the path he's on would land him in prison. And then a friend pulls him aside, like, man, listen, I know it feels like a rough hand you've been given, but you're young, smart, driven, with a ton of ambition, and you know more tricks than an amateur magician. What you need is a plan and a vision, and you can transition, you can seek purpose, you can repurpose these talents and be of service. Be the wordsmith, rewrite the narrative, flip the script and invite the challenges. If you shift your focus away from dodgy deals and learn more skills like magic and hypnosis, then you can be brilliant and people will notice and you could be famous. Think of the showbiz. This is the start of your metamorphosis. Believe in yourself, adjust your focus. You just got to trust the process. And their words inspired me, igniting a fire inside of me. I'd decidedly set aside all of my pride and internal rivalry and turned a new page in my diary. It was time to be the change that I'd like to see. So I took myself down to the library and I borrowed every relevant book I could see. Poetry, philosophy, magic, hypnosis, psychology, forget university. This is my angle. This would be my degree. If I can learn the skills to turn the ills of society, and I'm talking lying, cheating, stealing, deceiving, and piracy, and repackage them into something that shines so vibrantly, I could help others transform their setbacks to jetpacks and fly with me. And that was when I knew exactly what I should be. And the following years were a bit of a sandstorm, but here I stand in grown man form, living proof that words are magic and the right words can transform anything. Thank you. Whew. Still with me? We having fun? Yeah. So getting out the other side of all of that stuff and then beginning that journey of what ultimately is like integrating the worst things that you want to hide about yourself, you know, and realizing that that is your story. Those are the things that make you unique. I was always the most embarrassed about sharing my rhymes and my poetry in front of people, and now it's all I want to do. I used to squeeze in the odd verse at a corporate event so nervously, thinking like, how are people going to really want to unpack this? They're going to enjoy it, right? I can go and do magic tricks and blow them away and get all the applause and all the gratitude and validation. Whereas the true stuff is like what we craft for ages, and I know there are people in this room who write poetry, and I know some of those people would never share it with anyone. And that's beautiful. But also you have a duty, because that stuff comes through us, not from us. And although it may be with us, it don't belong to us. And it is our duty to share that and put out into the world for the one person in the room that might inspire. Hopefully more, but as long as it's one. So with that, I took myself on a big backpacking journey, traveling journey, eventually landing myself here. But I want to kind of get everybody in the room now to think of a country that you would love to fly to. And there are like 200 countries you could go to in the world. So as we begin to build that, because like we don't travel to move around, we travel to be moved. It's who we become when we get there. So I would like you to think of that place and start to imagine who you are when you are there, because that's what it's all about. Now, hopefully everybody's got a place in mind, and I'm going to close my eyes and meander around the room, and we will select somebody in this capacity, and they'll hopefully come up and join me as my last kind of up on stage volunteer before the rest of the session. How are we even doing for time? What's the session saying? Still got 25 minutes, I know? Yeah, we're good. All right. And you're going to shout out, Jamie, loud and clear. You're going to say, stop, top of your lungs. Yeah, don't leave me dancing around too long. I feel silly up here. But I'm going to go randomly, and whenever you shout it. Jamie. I believe I was pointing over here somewhere, so I'm going to go for a lady in the glasses, if that's okay, in a white cardigan. I feel like that's you, yeah? Yeah, perfect. No, yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, you're going to come and join. What's your name? Come and join us. Come on, give her a round of applause. Legend. I'm going to get you right about here if that's okay. Yep. How you doing?
Good.
You have a nice time?
Yeah.
Is this all right, yeah? I wasn't sure if anyone liked this stuff, but seem to have won a few people over. It's good. I want you to think about this country you want to go to, because the first step towards making our dreams happen, right, is writing it down. At least I give this for the ADHDers, right? We need like 12 things to do to pay attention, so word search for you guys. Whatever country this is, so if it was me, maybe I would think of England, because I want to go and see mum and dad, and I would write England nice and clear, and I would show it by a little glimpse across to the front row. Now, most of you are not going to see it, but some of you will. If you do know whispering, I've got big ears, I hear you, it takes the challenge out of it. So whatever the country is for you, nice and clear, write it down. Don't show me, but please do show the room. And if I do my job properly, then the rest of you will find out what it says anyway. In the meantime, you can think about where you'd like to go to and why and who you would become. I won't peek. Got it? Go a bit closer if you want to show a few more. You're welcome. Yeah? Cheers. Come back to me. I'll nick that pen off you. Amazing. And I don't want to see this, so if you could please place it face down in line with the others so I cannot see. Thank you. And I'm going to get you with 2 hands to sandwich all of this. So I want one hand out like this and the other hand on top like a secret. May I? Yeah? That's it. Great. Step into my arena. Perfect. Facing me. So I want you to think about this place. And the first thing that happens when we get to the airport is we drop our luggage, and then there's this big black screen in front of us, and the screen has got the gate number, the destination, and the time of the flight. Imagine you see the time you fly, hours and minutes, whatever that time is for you. You tell me what time you fly, I'll tell you where you're going.
2 p.m.
Amazing. Did that feel like a free choice? Felt like a free choice, didn't it? There are no free choices, and I kind of prove it, yeah? Because while there's no time up here, I did set my watch to a certain time earlier. Can you tell me what time that is?
It's 2.
2 p.m., yeah? There's no big deal, just 720 times on a watch. You chose the right one. But the idea is that we accidentally pick up so much about our communications from others without realizing it, you know? It's not just the words we say, it's how we say those words, it's how we are when we say those words. And this stuff is coming at us permanently. We just got to pay attention in the right ways. Think about a place. This is your pilot speaking. Thank you for flying with us today. As we head to, in your mind, you see it. In your mind, you say it over and over again. You go to spell it out, and you see it spelled in front of me. And you go to touch down, you take that big breath. And as you step off the plane, and they say, Konnichiwa, welcome to Japan. You want to go to Japan? Yeah? Can we see? Yes?
Yeah.
Japan, it is Japan, it is Japan. The first step towards making your dreams happen is to write it down. Your flight leaves at 2 o'clock. Take that to the Jetstar desk and they'll tell you where to go. Thank you, you've been amazing. Legend. Woo. Gosh. Actually, I had a riddle to transition into that moment, but we'll retrospect it, and it was this one. My job comes with a bird's eye view. I'm episode 1, not episode 2. Pilot, of course. Perfect segue into my traveling moment, but we got it backwards. It's all right, no one noticed. I want to go on a little journey, take you on a journey with me. I've been enjoying this, by the way, the feedback and like the snaps and the woos. Like, I really do appreciate the support. And ultimately, we become more than the sum of our parts when we do this. So this is like how we step into presence. And last year, I really wanted to get the magic back into my life. And like, believe it or not, even as someone who practices this stuff, I forget sometimes that I'm made of atoms forged in a furnace of exploding stars. And that atom is just a word we use to cover up the fact that everything is magic. Whatever it is, we just sit there and, oh, I've got a job, I've got a name, I've got a role in society. It's all just an illusion, right? Like, this whole thing is miraculous. So to remind myself last year, January, I started going to like open mic sessions, slam poetry sessions, and doing things that I never really done before outside of like paid stage opportunities. So I was like, I'm going to put myself through the gauntlet. And then like looking online, and I found that there was this big poetry grand slam finals happening. It was at Town Hall last year. And I was like, I wanted to go. And I spoke to my friends, like, oh, we need to go along to this. And I went to buy tickets, and it was sold out. I was like, and she's like, leave it with me. And she gets on and, not sure if you know how it feels to be disappointed. Anyway, we got 2 comp tickets to go to the finals, right? So we're sitting there in the audience, and it's like grandiose Town Hall, incredible, 2,000 people, and big setup. And these poets are coming out on stage, and they're inspiring me. They've got 3 minutes to do their thing. And it was like, I could feel the energy in the room, and it was just like, you could cut through it. And it was so powerful, voices and rumbling feet and finger snaps and cheering. I never seen, like, you know, we get like a comedian gets a moment when they make a joke, and maybe a magician gets the gasp or whatever, but like real life feedback at different points from different people who get something and resonate. I was enamored. I never experienced this before. And I'm inspired. I'm looking up on stage, and I'm like, I'm going to be on that stage next year. What do I need to do? And as if by magic, the host comes out and is like, all of the poets that are here today, they earned their chance to be here in this finals by going out to Bankstown, joining the Bankstown Poetry Slam event, putting their name into the bucket, being drawn at random. Maybe they get pulled, maybe they don't. And then they have to win it. And by winning it, you earn your place to come on this stage and compete in the grand finals, biggest poetry event in the Southern Hemisphere. Now I know what I need to do. So 2 weeks later is the next Bankstown Poetry Slam, and I'm like wasting no time, so I'm going to go down there. And I get there nice and early. I don't any creatives in the room, you know that being on time is not your forte, yeah? So I'm like, right, get up, I'm going to live in Neutral Bay, I'm going to make my way all the way out to Bankstown. And I get off the train, I'm early, this is great. And I'm in Blacktown. 10 years I've been here, I'm still a tourist, right? So honestly, I'm like, how can I do it? Can I do it? Luckily, I was running early. Blacktown and Bankstown, they ain't even neighbors. So I kind of like trains, Ubers, and some ninja maneuvers. I get there just as the doors are closing. My friends put my name down and sign me up, and I squeeze in and like, it was a theater, not too dissimilar from this one. And I'm sitting there waiting, all the poets are going up and they're reading off their iPhones and they're speaking into the mic on the mic stand, and I'm like, to show them how it's done. Anyway, I get up there, and I never done a slam and poetry event before. But I went up and I owned that stage. I took the mic out, and I took up space, and I connected with the people in the present moment, which I'm kind of hoping some of you are feeling like I'm doing now, you know, but it's like how communication should be done. And I came first, landing myself a spot in the finals for 2025, right? Yeah, thank you. First time, right? Fortune favors the brave. After just saying I'm going to be on that stage next year, I've never had like a spoken kind of commitment happen so swiftly, but it's wild, it's almost like magic. And now I knew what I had to do. So for the whole of last year, I took myself to every slam poetry event I could. I'm going out, putting my name in, hoping I get drawn. I got 2-3 minutes to share, to do my bit, and then they like kind of give you scorings and ratings. But it's more about the gauntlet of it. I go to some storytelling events, some from Monica, who's got a session on concurrently with my one right now. We're in tough competition. And all of this kind of began to give me what I needed to do, which was to connect with people authentically and share parts of myself that I always felt too ashamed to share, because that's where the gold is, that is where the magic is, right? So, come through all of those lessons, and then we find out the venue, Sydney Opera House, all right? And there's a photo of me busking outside on the street from 2014. I'm topless in the sun with a hat saying, like, magicians have bills to pay just like you. I remember someone pulling a 10-cent coin out of their coach purse and dropping it in once. Anyway, humbling. So I'm like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on that stage. And then we get, like, drawn at random, and we have to do this in teams. So then I get partnered up with someone, right? But on the plus side, we are in the concert hall. Looks like that. Not allowed to take pictures. I got like my Ray-Ban Meta, so I'm like filming the whole thing without anyone knowing. And during this, we're like put into like teamwork and partners, and I've got this partner to work with. And he's like this like chaotic, crazy Mexican dude who's like an artist and an architect, and he carves sculptures, and he's just like, I went and visited him doing his work once. He had like a giant like bull's head he'd made that he couldn't see on. He was on the floor drawing for 8 hours without seeing, and he's just got rulers and stuff on his giant sheets. So he's like mental, my kind of people. Anyway, I'll give you a bit of context. There he is, yeah? Looks like a time-traveling vagabond, yeah? So we're in this, and then we're backstage, and for some reason, the universe chose out of the bucket for our set to go last. I'm not saying the universe wants me to be a show closer or nothing, but, you know, I didn't choose, someone else, the universe chose. So we're up last, there's 16 performances, and it's coming up to our bit, and he's backstage, and now, like, he's not like a mic person, you know? Like, he won his bit just like I did by sharing his poetry, but he ain't out here doing stuff for crowds. And he's backstage, and he's on his phone, he's trying to remember his part of our verse, and he's like this, and I can just see him becoming the shell of himself, and I'm like, Daniel, come on, give me that phone. Phone goes away. I do not want to see you look at that again until afterwards. Okay. All right, Daniel, when you look at me, you know what you need to do? And he's like, yeah, because we're going to go out into that concert hall, that giant vagina-shaped room, and we are going to impregnate it with our creative essence. Are you with me? Are you with me? He's like, yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. And we went out there and we smashed it. And while every other person there spoke their stuff, they spoke against colonialism, they spoke against racism and gender inequality and systematic oppression, and those are noble causes to wag your finger at your audience about. But we we had gratitude. We came out and we celebrated the building we're in. We celebrated the fact that we're in this place, that the steps were taken from Mexican temples, that the Mercanas were taken straight from mosques. The fact that every single person who had walked up those steps to join us in this vessel that is kind of sails propelled by the wind of our words, right? And we're here, and then we start celebrating immigration. The fact that I stepped off this plane with a backpack and I knew nothing, but slowly I began to learn about the sacrifices made so we could have this, and how grateful I am to look at all of these people who came here with nothing but luggage and some courage and found space to flourish. And we do our thing, and we win the People's Choice Awards. Yeah. Because the right words can transform anything. Got so much more I want to share with you. But how long we got in minutes? You want to shout it at me? 10 minutes. Fuck it, we got time. All right, we're going to do this. So, in this journey, learning how to be vulnerable and share the parts of myself that I struggle to put out there, and realizing that in those moments, people come back and give more. It's the best ROI ever, right? Being authentically yourself and doing it with humility, right? So I want to share a little free story bit that I worked on quite recently. Difficult stuff for me to share. So snap and ooh and ah, where appropriate. Thank you very much. Means a lot. See, I was just a teenager hustling. Discovering the boundaries, unraveling the story. And I used to go to this market in a rough part of London every weekend in attempts of doubling my digits. And I had a bunch of these bootleg DVDs on a market stall, and one day I traded more than I bargained for when suddenly in front of me I had company, and there were give or take 8 of them. Scarves covered their faces, and maybe I should have stayed patient when they started reaching in my cases and taking whatever they could fit in the waist of their tracky bottoms. We had a problem. Now, I've never been one to bite my tongue or just say it how it is, regardless of the consequence. So back then, whatever I lacked in humility, I certainly packed in stupidity. So I was like, should I say it? Fuck it, I'll say it. If you're so poor you need to steal from me, then feel free to take something home. But what kills me is you steal as a group because you're too scared to steal on your own. And as courageous as it felt to say this, these thieving little monkeys went apeshit, absolutely ballistic. My table, they flipped it. My boxes of stock, they stomped on and kicked it. And I figured I'd become another knife crime statistic as they surrounded me, pushed, shoved, and pounded me. And astoundingly, all of the bystanders just stood by and watched as a good guy caught a beat down from the bad guys. They left me with cuts, bruises, a hairline fracture, and a couple of black eyes with some stitches on the side. They took a lot from me that day, but they didn't take my life, and I didn't lose my pride. And he left a pretty scar, and scars tell a story, and like a badge of honor, I wear it for the glory. Yeah. This one might be triggering. I was just 20-something, bickering, arguing, in a constant saga of drama with my partner, in denial of the spiraling cycle we were trapped in, lost at sea with no captain. And there's a certain kind of hate we reserve for a lover. I was worse, we deserved one another. And I was sat cross-legged on the bed with my morning brew, and I forget what bullshit we were talking through, but I was catching the talking to. And I remember what I said. I said, if you keep talking to me this way, I'm going to smash this coffee cup into the middle of my head. I don't know what made me think that was a good move, because then the response came, of course you will, you fucking psycho. It's exactly the kind of psycho shit you would do. Words of mockery. And as much as it hurt, I'm a man of my word. So there weren't no stopping me. The mug shattered, the blood splattered, and all of a sudden nothing mattered. I felt calm. A cleansing release washed over me, the unspoken pleasures of self-harm. I grabbed a towel, caught an Uber. Hospital treated me like a loser, some kind of delinquent domestic abuser, when all I really needed was therapy. A kind voice telling me that you will never be able to love someone else until you learn to love yourself. and it left an ugly scar. And scars tell a story, and I'm ashamed of telling this one to my younger self. I'm sorry. Yeah, to my younger self, I'm sorry. Last one. I was just a backpacker traveling, gathering memories, unraveling the plot. I used to share magic tricks a lot. It's like a superpower when it comes to making friends, and some of those friends became real close. One in particular, we were best bros. We would finish each other's stories and jokes. And eventually, we clicked together. We went on trips together. We went to festivals and we tripped together. We moved to Sydney and we lived together as housemates, staying up on the couch late, smoking spliffs together, practicing our magic tricks, watching Dave Chappelle, and learning all of our tricks together. It was awesome. But adventure kept calling, and you answered it. And as jealous as I was, you saved enough money to save time. Therefore, when I dropped you at the airport, I knew you would have a great time, and we catch up every few weeks on FaceTime. And it was evident that you were in your element, and the only reason this sentiment is so damn relevant is I got a call from your cousin to say there was an accident and you were killed, and your absence leaves a void that will never be filled, and a wound which I feel may never be healed. But I wish it would, because then there'd be a scar, and scars tell a story, and in honor of your memory, I tell it for the glory. Yeah. Thank you for providing space. I got one riddle for us to solve, and then a little closing rhyme to wrap it with. Thoughtful gifts and the moment that shifts. Who said that? Who said the P word? You said present? Present? Thoughtful gifts and the moment that shifts, present indeed. My present to you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Cheers. So, a quick sip for this. Let's go out on a banger, yeah? Before I swapped my market stall for a stage, there were a few stages between. And I could go on for days on how I hit the street busking and busking didn't pay, but I knew to keep hustling towards my dream. And it seems puzzling when you're dealt decent cards, but they just need shuffling. So I tried it all. I taught magic in schools. I performed at weddings and religious events and nightclubs, festivals, prisons and tents and product launches, premieres, prestigious events, trips to the Emirates, shows for governments, tricks for delegates. I performed for refugees the same day I performed for royalty, and I'm humbled because this journey continues to spoil me, and I'm grateful. I went from needing a lawyer to charging a lawyer fee. If the boy who was bored of education can grow up to perform for the Board of Education, and if the kid who took notes and gave change can grow to give notes on how to create change, think of the targets you could hit if you take aim. And I'll admit, I felt great shame about my story, and I tried to hide it because life is private. But if we do share our tragedies and triumphs and trials and tribulations, then maybe someone else will be inspired by it, because we can all be the author of our own life story, but only if you take the time to write it. And it is never too late to start working at it, because in case you haven't heard, your words are magic, and the right words can transform anything. So how can we dissolve the boundary between the person we were and the person we are proud to be? How can we dissolve the boundary and turn our setbacks into jetpacks? I guess that's alchemy. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.